Hello and welcome guys. In this video we are going to look at how YouTube Data API version 3 is used to integrate the video statistics. We're gonna see how to retrieve the number of views, the likes and the dislikes of a particular video that is um, clicked upon by the user. So let's get started. First, what we need to do is the layout that I have in mind for that is you're going to place the number of likes, dislikes and the views in a horizontal fashion. So we need a linear layout, and I'm going to give it a margin of 16. So basically we would have an image view for the icon and a text view for the actual number of likes, dislikes and whatever, so we can just copy this and for the likes, and this is for the dislikes. So I'm gonna give them, each of them, a weight of 1, so they distribute themselves equally. And the next thing that you need to do is we need to download the icons. For the icons, you can download them from here. Thumbs up for the likes. For the dislikes, it would be thumbs down, and you can use the visibility icon for the views. I have already downloaded them. So you can choose your appropriate icons that you want to. So anyways, I'm gonna include them using the source attribute. We're gonna put in placeholders, so like temporary values, so that we would know what would be placed here. And let's give it a text color of black so it looks a little bit prominent. Align them in a center. And we'll give this an ID. So these text views can be accessed later on in our Java code. And now the next thing that we need to do is to retrieve the statistics, we have the endpoint videos. Let's take a look at the dummy API response. The main focus of this video is the statistics object. We need to retrieve these 3 things. So this statistics object is inside the items list. So in order to make Retrofit be able to retrieve the values from the API response, we need to create model classes. So we need to head over to the JSON schema.org, and we can copy this API response paste it over here. You can name this class as video stats and make sure these options are selected. Okay, so these classes are there to retrieve a whole lot of information that you can retrieve through this endpoint. You can get the duration of the video, you can get the dimensions, the captions, subtitles, and the thumbnails, but this is not part of the video. So we are gonna look at specific classes that we need. So inside the model package we need to create another package. We can name it as video stats, and we can create a class named item, another class named video stats, and another class named statistics. So we can copy this and paste it over here. We actually don't need these variables. So you can remove these methods as well. And you can copy this and you can remove these because these are not necessary. Okay, and the last thing that we need is the statistics class. So you can copy this, paste it over here, and since we need the view count, the like count and the dislike count, you can remove the favorite count and the comment count because we don't need them right now. Okay. Now that we have our model classes, we need to create the method so that Retrofit is able to make API request. So the endpoint that is used, as I told you guys, is the videos endpoint. So the parameters that we require are the statistics parameter and the ID. The ID would be the ID of the item that is clicked upon. So any of these items which is clicked upon, it will, what Retrofit will do is it will retrieve the ID of the video that is being currently played, and yeah, so Okay, and the last thing that we need is the key parameter, which would be the API key that we retrieved from the Google Cloud Console in the first video. So let's actually put in the parameters. The key parameter, and the last thing would be the ID. So now that we have the layout and the model classes, the interface method, now we need to make the API request, and we have actually done this before, so I'm not gonna write those lines of code again. So we can copy some lines that we want from the main activity, because it's the same. Instead of video details, we would have video stats. So let me just explain what we did here. The API response that we would get is like this, which is shown. So what Retrofit is going to do, in order to retrieve the API, the information that we require, the data that we require, it needs model classes, right? So what it's gonna do, it's gonna retrieve the items list. Okay, so it would retrieve the items list. Once it has the items list, what it's gonna do, it's gonna head over to the items class, and inside the items class we would ask Retrofit to get statistics using this method. So as you can see, I told you guys earlier that inside the items we have the statistics object. So once it has the statistics object, it would be easier for us to retrieve the view count, like count and dislike count using just the variables of the text views that we created in our layout over here. So we would set the response that we will get inside these text views. It's actually really simple. So the method that we created was video stats, and inside the part parameter, we need to put in statistics. So and inside the ID we would pass in the video ID variable that we created in the previous video. I can also show you right now that inside the logcat, when I click upon a specific item, we get this video ID. So this video ID is being stored in this variable. So where did it go? Okay, and we need to pass in the API key, and now we need to make the API request. You can call this variable video stats request. So we need to be sure that we actually got the response, and the response body is not empty, is not null. So in order to make sure that the response that we are getting is not empty, we have put in a couple of if conditions. So they're going to check the response is successful and the body is not null. When we have the response, what we're going to do is you have to create the text view variables, and we have to find the views through their IDs so we can access them in order to set the response inside the text views. So I'm gonna say views.setText response body.getItems.get0. So in order to show you why I have written 0, I need let me just show you a response. Okay, so this is the API response that we are getting when we pass in the required parameters. So any user, I mean obviously you would be able, you can only create one you can only click upon one item at a time. You cannot click two items at the same time. So when I click upon this item, I would only have one element, that is the 0th element, the starting element, the element that is of this video. So this information is of this video ID. So that's why, because we have only one element, the 0th element, that's why we have written 0 over here. So get statistics. So inside the items, so now what it's doing, it's gonna get the items list. It's gonna get the items list, and then it's gonna head over to the statistics object, okay, through this method get statistics, and it's gonna request the view count to get the view count. And we need to do this similarly for the likes and the dislikes. So we have the likes over here and the dislikes over here, and the appropriate methods: get like count, get dislike count. Okay. Should any error occur, it can be because of various reasons. Either you don't have an internet connection, or you have mistyped something, or just you have a typo error. It can be tons of reasons. So we need to inform the user that something went wrong. So what Toast is going to do, it's going to pop up a little message for a short amount of time, like 3 seconds or so, and it's gonna say something went wrong. And with each if condition, if the if condition is not successful and it's not if the response body that we got is null, because we did something wrong in the code, okay, so we are gonna get the response body as null. To handle that null error, we can write the else condition, so we would know that we have done something wrong in this part. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna log the error in the logcat. So the error would be most likely much more like this in the red text color. We can see over here, so I can write null exception, or you can just write response body null. And this else was this else is paired with this if condition, and we have to write the else condition of the first if condition. So with this if condition, we're gonna write if the API response is not successful, it's gonna show me the error code. The error code would be the error codes are usually the codes that you guys usually see. Like 200 is of the successful the code that when API is successful. 404 is the code which for example, if we have requested a page that is not really there, so it would show me a 404 error, and like this there are tons of other response codes. So okay, now we can actually run this program to see if we are getting the result that we desire. Okay, now if I click upon this item, you can see that I got the number of views, the likes and the dislikes. And let's take a look at this. Okay, right, in the next video what we are gonna do is we are gonna improve the user interface a little bit, and we're gonna see how to show the comments and the description of the video. So yeah, stay tuned and see you guys next time.